Hello, everybody, and welcome to Kingdom Voices. I know we're airing a little bit later today, but we had to make room for this very special guest. And on this platform, we always platform history makers and trailblazers and pace setters. And we are about our Father's business. And the men and women that are on this show are always their ministry in motion 24/7. And this young man, his name is Dr. Phil Aguilar. Dr. Phil, welcome.
Thank you so
Welcome.
much. Yeah, I like that.
We do want to give honor where honor is due, and this is my husband, Danny Roman. Danny,
Hello.
thanks for joining me. He
Yeah.
wanted to be a part of
Yes, I had to be
this,
here
Dr.
because
Phil.
when we talked, I just fell in love with what you're doing and about you, and I love the
Come on, we fell in love at first sight at the front door.
Exactly.
That's how I felt,
Hospitality.
yeah.
You got a hospitality spirit, and I love that.
Thank
Oh
you.
my
Awesome.
goodness,
Thank
my
you.
goodness. And I have to say we went to his ministry not that long ago in his home, the Magic House.
Yes.
Yes, and I was like, where is the woman of this house? I need to meet your wife because there's not too many women that will open up their home 24/7. Tell anybody and
Right.
everybody, come on in. I said, this must be an amazing woman of God. And Sandra, right?
Yes.
And Sandra is an amazing woman of God. Shout out to you, Dr. Sandra. And so we just wanted to thank you so much for being who you are. You're a shining light. You're outstanding. We honor everything that you've been doing for all these years. And so welcome to Kingdom Voices.
Appreciate it. It's an honor to be here. This is cool. Very cool.
And so I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit about his bio, okay? So let's take a second to do that. Pastor Phil Aguilar, he founded Set Free Christian Fellowship in 1983 in Anaheim, California. He has continued his ministry for the last 45 years. He's helped plant many ministries, including LA Dream Center, set free churches all across the United States and even into other countries. He's also a world legendary, he is a legendary recovery coach. There it is. A legendary recovery coach, spending the last 4 decades being a life coach to those who live in addictions. He also is a certified drug therapist and marriage counselor. Dr. Phil has been happily married for 45 years to Sandra, 6 children, 13 grandchildren.
Oh, they have that wrong. It's 23.
No,
grandchildren.
23.
23. I don't know what I was thinking.
Wow, talk about some inheritance there. Pastor Phil is also known as Dr. Phil, and he loves spending his life helping others. And that's why he's here today, because we want to honor who honor is due. Pastor Phil, Dr. Phil, we came to your ministry probably about what year was that? Probably in the 1990s, maybe.
I think so.
And it was jumping. My boys loved it. There was music going on, the lights were going, there was a word, and everybody was young and full of fire.
Yes.
Now, that was in Anaheim.
Yeah, it was Anaheim. Our downtown Anaheim warehouse where it all started for
There
me.
it is. Yes. So we knew you way back then.
Wow.
And of course, we know you've been on TVN as well, right?
Did that for a lot of years and, give my testimony, started off. And then when they saw me go on there, I was a little different oddity than the normal good old Southern boy or girl preachers at the time, with, Benny Hinn and, Roger McDuff and Jimmy Swaggart.
That's right.
So when I came on the scene, it was who is this, mask guy, so it was new.
Well, you grabbed everybody's attention, that's for certain. You actually did. You grabbed us all, And so we want to know a little bit about who you are. Can you tell us your testimony? Give us some of the hard places in life as you were growing up, and let the viewers know where you came from.
Wow. Well, I'm a local boy from in Southern California here. I was born and raised in Anaheim, California. Before Disneyland was there in Anaheim.
Before.
I was in Anaheim. My mom and dad had 6 of us kids. And life started off good. I can remember as a little kid, one of the things a lot of people don't know about Anaheim and Orange County, they call it that because there was orange groves everywhere, strawberry fields everywhere. It was very rural. Now you can't even find an orange tree hardly.
Right.
But Orange County then was a very Anglo type of community. And so as a Mexican American, we were a real small minority. So here I am starting off at school. My wife's seen all my elementary school pictures, and there's this little fly in a glass of milk looking pictures, you know? And
How sweet.
I got all my Okie friends and Arky friends because everybody moved over.
All the
And-
redheaded little boys,
Yeah,
and blondes.
And in 2nd grade, I can remember my school teacher telling me that don't speak Spanish here, it's a dead language. And that's what they really thought.
Yeah.
And I can remember going to school and coming home and asking my mom, Mom, can you get some better soap? I thought she could make me white like my friends.
Oh my gosh.
So I was a square peg trying to fit into a round hole early in life. And then I'd watch TV shows like Father Knows Best,
Right.
Leave It to Beaver. And a lot of it, I tell young people now, your shows are more like Who's My Daddy? You know, it's a whole different twist, the world.
Right.
Divorce wasn't so rampant, everything. It was just a different day. So I was raised up in that, seeing that beautiful family on TV with the white picket fence house. And so as a young person, just like young people are today, they're influenced by social media, TV, videos, movies, all that stuff. So me as a kid, so was I. So I wanted, you know, my dad to be that hero. You know, my mom to be the one kissing their dad when he comes home from work, and all those kids this and that.
Vacuuming in her dress and her high heels.
Ward
looking
Cleaver in the suit
good.
all the time.
Yeah, of course. That looked attractive.
It looked attractive,
Yeah.
but it wasn't happening in my house. Just wasn't happening. Sad to say, like I says, my dad, who was my hero, and he was just my hero because he was my dad. He didn't do anything great or anything. Just that's how we kind of reverenced and respected the father of the home back in the day. And but then I started realizing my dad every weekend would go with his friends, be gone all weekend. He wasn't around. And so I started, you know, as a young kid, I'm making excuses for, you know, well, he's got to do this or that. You know, I'm not taking it personal. And then my dad starts messing around, boom, and he gets caught in an affair. He's domestic violence at home. I mean, and so, oh, you know, I feel for people within that because I grew up with that. That was part of my life. So this happy TV story I'm watching ain't happening at home.
Right.
And so I'm conflicted, I'm confused. Then my dad leaves home, you know, before I turned 12. So there's 6 of us kids. I'm the oldest. And so I needed some therapy. I didn't realize at the time. I needed some counseling. I needed a big brother. I needed somebody there.
Yes.
So there's always a place. And if you got a family member, a young person, they're going to find help somewhere. I found it at the street corner. Some of the older fellows, and you know, they started me off giving me a brown paper bag, putting airplane cement in it, glue, huffing the glue, and my problems disappeared for a moment, you know.
Yep.
And then the alcohol came, and then this pill and that pill. I was just looking to kill the pain.
Right.
Did you say at the 12 as a 12-year-old boy this was going on?
As an 11-year-old, right before I
11.
turned 12, this was all going on, and you know, I was in my own way. I was brokenhearted.
Sure.
Didn't know how to identify it.
Yes.
As a young person, didn't know how to process it. But I was brokenhearted. You know, like I said, I love my dad. I watched the relationship. You know, when the dad would come home, hey son, hey, you know, Beaver, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I wanted that. That's why when you know our kids are hooked on TikTok and everything else, they want what they see there. Yeah, they want to have that kind of body, that kind of look, that kind of hair, that kind of car. And so it was no different in our days or my days. You know, I'm watching that and it wasn't happening. So I'm brokenhearted that my dad's gone. But I found out now, I've learned, and it happened to me then, everybody looks for somebody to blame. Somebody to blame. So guess who got blamed in my house? My mother.
Okay.
It must have been your fault, Mom. I wasn't one of those, it was my fault.
Right.
Yeah, I blame my mom. What did you do wrong that my dad would leave? You know,
Wow.
it's your
And here
fault.
she's the one that stayed and cared for
Oh,
you and worked. But that's usually how it goes, right?
oh man,
Yeah.
talk
We
about
blame our
the
mom.
world wrong side up and upside down.
Misplaced
Yeah, I get
anger.
it. I
Misplaced
get it.
anger.
Man, I had
Yeah.
stinking thinking going on, but I'm taking it out on her, and the
Sure.
way that I took it out on her is I'm not feeling good. I need a skateboard, Mom. Well, I don't have money for it. You go get me one. I become a little extortionist right away. Kids do it with their parents every day of the week. Get me
Absolutely.
this or else.
That's
And
right.
so here I am, like I says, I started treating my mom like I said, it's your fault, it's your fault. And she's gone off to work now to support the kids because my dad's gone with another woman and went and remarried and all that stuff. And so she's doing her best to take care of all of us, but I'm not respecting that, not understanding it, not figuring that out. And I've just got a broken heart. And then I decided to be mad at God. Didn't know him, but you're a good one to blame too. So I got my mom on one
Absolutely.
hand, God
Wow.
on the other hand.
Wow.
Yeah.
And with this wasn't even conscious?
Oh
Where
no!
you weren't even consciously aware that you were blaming.
Yeah, we weren't
yet-
raised up in any church or anything like that, and I
Yeah.
never had a dad. I can't remember my dad sitting me on his lap and say, "I love you, son." So it wasn't even. There was no connection there at all. I was a young kid raising myself,
Right.
and my example. You know, sad to say, my dad, like I says, it was one of those things. I'd never want to be like him.
My,
you
my,
know?
my. Yes, yes. Can you take a minute and look into that camera right now and encourage fathers? Because there's the problems are we've got millions of fatherlessness children. Can you address them and encourage them to be present at home?
Oh yeah, fathers is so important, so much. I know we think it's so important to make money to get them
Oh,
things and do all that kind of stuff.
amen.
But the number one thing every child needs is an example, a role model, somebody there to love them right
you,
where they're
Father.
at. And disciples are made, not born. It doesn't have by accident. Train up a child in the way he should go. You know, that's the whole thing, and that's our jobs as dads. We're the spiritual leaders of the home, even though we might not know how. We can Google up how to be a spiritual leader. We can go find people that will mentor us and help us. But spending time with our kids, that's the most important thing in my life. I can still remember, like it was yesterday, just those little simple things of a dad saying, "Hey, I love you, son." You know, a little hug right there, you know. Hey, what do you want to do with your life? So I encourage you fathers, get out there and you moms stick in there. You know, sometimes you got to take the place of the father, and that's your job, like my mom did. She had to stick in there with an ungrateful brat. You know, just a person who didn't care about anything but himself. But monkey see, monkey do. That's the examples I had in the home. And that's why it's important for us to be out there in the street corners, because somebody without a street corner telling me, you know, the wrong way to go, there needs to be somebody in the street corner telling me and telling the young people the right way to go.
Amen.
Exactly.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you for speaking into that, because that is so true, is that the children many times blame mom because she's right there.
Oh yeah, easy to blame. We need a target, you know.
Yeah.
And then the minute we start pointing a finger, we get victimitis. We make ourselves a victim instead of taking some kind of ownership and responsibility. Really, that it's not anybody's fault. How are we going to deal with the situation? But yeah, so that's how my drug adventure started, right there with my friends in the street corner, and that didn't let up till I was 15 years old. I just started high school, and I fell in love. Oh, I tell people, watch out for the love drug. Watch out for the love drug. You think fentanyl also.
You got Twitter painted immediately, huh?
So here I am, 15. I fall in love with a girl from the other side of the tracks. Remember, in my high school, Anaheim High School, about 3,000 students, about 50 of us were Mexicans, or as they called them in those days, Chicanos.
Yes,
You know, from
yes.
Southern California.
Yes.
So here I am. I see a cheerleader girl, a white, freckle face, red-headed, Annie Scheffler. You know, just like it was yesterday, my heart was palpitating, you know. I was in love, puppy love, you know. Because before I was looking for love in all the wrong places.
That's right. That's
So
right.
here I am. See, in life I found out we're all going to find something, we're looking for something to heal us. So here, you know, mad at God, mad at my mom, now mad at my dad, you know, brokenhearted all over the place, but now I'm in love with this girl, And so we had to sneak around. I don't know if you've ever met anybody like that, had to
Oh,
sneak
sure,
around.
sure.
But, you know, so here she was, and she says, hey, I babysit my brother's kids every Friday night. Come on over. So, okay, I'm going to sneak over there. Just, you know, the whole...
Yeah.
See, I tell people I work with addicts and all this, I says it's not the drugs or alcohol or this stuff, it's the lifestyle. That sleazy little sneaking around, gangsta lifestyle that people like to think. And so here I was sneaking over there. Before I went over there, I had to stop by the liquor store and have to get somebody to buy me some malt liquor. And, you know, my whole saying back in the day was malt liquor's quicker because I'm going to try to get her drunk, take advantage of her. You know, they may say it different, but it still happens the same way today, you know.
Absolutely.
Right.
And sin is fun for a season,
Oh,
isn't
for
it?
a while.
It's
For a
fun for a
while.
while.
So here I am. I'm in love. This is the greatest thing in the world. I'm telling you, I became a happy young teenager. I was happy as could be. I'd be on the phone at nighttime, about 11 o'clock, big old telephones in those days, pull the cord in my other room.
Yes.
You know, so my mom would let me use the telephone, and I'd talk to Annie for 3 hours. Oh, my God. You know that kind of puppy love, you know, where just couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. I got to talk to Annie. And then I can remember at the end of the 3 hours, I say, okay, Annie, now you hang up. You know what she'd tell me? You hang up. So we went on for another hour.
Hanging up.
But people are always looking how to fill that emptiness in there. So I was doing what naturally happens, you know, brokenhearted, you know, and so here she filled it, and sin is fun for a season. So here I am. I'll finish off that area of my life as a teenager right there. So I got it going on. And then Annie, I said, you want to go steady? So back in those days, we asked them to go steady, and there was a ring shop. So I told my mom, there's a ring I want to get her. It costs $165. Picture in 1963, how much $165 was.
Yeah.
My mom's trying to raise 6 kids. She's working on those coffee trucks, making sandwiches, doing all that stuff. And I'm saying, no, you get me that money. So she signed the credit thing, did the whole thing to get me. I gave Annie this ring. We promised each other and married, you know.
Yes.
And I'm 15 years old. The only thing better in those days about being 16 years old is you got a car. So my best friend Max was 16. He had a car. So one day I'm at Tasty Freeze, which was right across the street from Manheim High School, where you hung out at the malt shop, you know, drinking malts and shakes and ice cream cones, having a good time. I'm happy now because I'm in love.
You have been.
I got Annie.
I got
Annie, red-haired, freckle-faced Annie, you know, maybe, you know.
Cheerleader.
Yeah, cheerleader, man, you know. I'm in love. Everything's good. And anytime we're in love and feeling good, we're good. But once again, like I said, it's for a season. So here I am. You know, my friend, best friend, Max, you know, I admire dearly and stuff like that. As I'm over there talking with a few of my buddies there in front of Tasty Freeze, out of the corner of my left eye, my buddy Max, who's got a 55 Chevy Nomad station wagon, which he's got a car. That's big time.
Right.
He's got juice. He's got influence. But he's got a cool car on top of all that, and he might even just be better looking than me, too. You know?
Maybe not.
Out of the corner of my left eye, I see cruising down the street. Oh! And what? My friend Max's car, and I see a redhead seated right next to him, and they were bench seats then. So she's sitting up right now with her arm over, posted up next to him, and I'm about to lose my mind. Because I didn't know the Bible verse in those days. Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So where was my treasure? Sitting next to Max.
That's
You
right.
know, all of a sudden he become a, you know, and she become, you know, too. And I'm going, you know, and immediately that day, at 15 years old, as she's riding down that street, you know, I said things that I could not say on any TV set. I'm telling you, but it caused a trigger in my mind. I'm a war. I'll never trust another woman. I mean, it was just, boom. And at 15 years old, I went on a rampage that lasted the next 15 years till I was 30 years
My
old.
goodness.
15. You know that old chip on your shoulder?
Yes.
You know, mad at the world, mad at God, mad at this, everything like that. Nobody's going to hurt me again, me against the world. And there was nobody else. I wasn't part of any youth group or this or that or Big Brother or anybody like that. I didn't know anybody. Nobody in our mom and dad's side of the family, anybody was a Christian.
Oh
Not
my
one,
goodness.
you know.
So this little girl and your friend triggered you for 15 years
Oh,
in the
yeah.
future. My goodness.
And put it back here, you know, decades later, I haven't
Yeah.
forgotten. I can still see that redhead
Yeah.
going down the street. I don't know whether to cry right now or to yell or scream.
Hey.
But that's why
Yeah,
I tell people,
sure.
don't think that, you know, the memory goes. I can still sing every teenage song, you know, by the Beatles or the Rolling Stones.
Right.
So the choices we make today will stick with us for the rest of our life.
Yeah.
And
Don't-
so,
you don't
yeah, I
forget.
was just brokenhearted, upset, mad at the world. How do I numb myself? How do I numb myself? And
Can
Is
you
that where
take
the,
a quick?
is that,
Oh, go
is that where
ahead.
like the big self-medication started?
oh yeah, that's when it was
Wow.
on and
Wow,
popping.
wow.
No need to fool around anymore, playing around, you know.
So you just dove right into addiction.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
full
Okay.
bore. There was
Sure.
You just want to numb
Sure.
yourself and not feel any pain no
you
more.
know.
Can you take a minute and talk to the young men now? Because some of them have experienced what you are speaking of. Their fathers, fatherlessness, people that they trusted and backstabbed them. Speak to them, please, and let them know where their hope lies.
Let me tell you something, young people. I'm an old
Jeez.
fool from the old school right now. Double OG, last of the Mohegans guy, but I can tell you, I can still remember it like it was yesterday when I was a youngster there on the street. And when we're looking for help, we're looking for that. It's hard to find, but if you seek hard enough, you'll find. You know, when you're ready to learn, there'll be
Father.
people come into your life. There are mentors, life coaches. There's people in boys' club, girls' club, churches. There's all kinds of different ways. And they might come in different ways and different looks, but there's people out there. But you got to do that one thing and seek for help. You got to get out there and
Father.
ask
Yes.
around, you know.
Yes.
And you, this church might not be the church for you. Another one might be. It's just like going to the ice cream store. There's a lot of different flavors. Find the flavors there. But as long as you're looking for that healing, you're looking for that help, because if you don't cry out for help, I'm telling you, it's like being in the Newport Beach I was at today, out there in the ocean over there. And when you're out there and you start to drown, you better shout out something to somebody. You don't care what the lifeguard looks like.
Ooh, that's
you,
good.
You got to shout out if you want help. If you stuff it, you get in your head, you'll get in your bed, you'll be half dead. You'll get in the prenatal position, trying to get back in your mama's womb where it was all safe and warm. Life is real. Life is hard. You need help. I need help. We all need help. So I'm telling you, go for it. Find somebody. Get my number. Get Rose's number. Anybody's here. We'll help you find some help today.
Yes.
Don't wait.
Don't
Amen.
wait.
Today.
You know, and I know some people are saying, well, where's his church? I want to go to his church.
We'll give
Can
you
you let them know?
address. Oh,
Go
yeah.
ahead, let them know.
Definitely. First off, my number, 714-400-4573. 714-400-4573. A lot of people go, you give your number, everybody's going to call. No, they won't. That's the problem. No, they won't. But there will be some. Maybe you'll be that one that'll call. Please do that. Man, I'm in downtown Anaheim. You ask for the chief, Dr. Phil, they'll send you my way over there, and I will do everything I can within my power as a human being to help you find a way, because I understand. I get it. I was that guy, brokenhearted with Danny. Brokenhearted because my dad left. Brokenhearted because it wasn't the life that I saw on TV. But hey, let me tell you, God can turn it all around. All around.
Thank you, Jesus. Okay, so now you're a 15-year-old teenager. Yes, start to go into drugs, into alcohol. What happens after
Oh,
that?
yeah. So there I am. I'm going into high school, you know. I made it to the 11th grade, to show up for 11th grade. But, you know, with that, my attitude, I got to sit where all the cool people sit. The back of the class. You know what I mean?
of the class.
You know, I ain't sitting up over there with the brown nosers in the front, you know, all the Key Club and all those people that are trying to learn something.
No books.
Yeah, no. I'm back there with all the fools, you know, who we think we're too cool for school, you know. So sure enough, and as a matter of fact, in those areas, some kids in high school are talking about what university they're going to, this, that. The only place I thought about going to was Penn State. Oh, excuse me, I mean the state pen. You know?
That was good. You were just thinking about
I was
going
thinking about going to Penn State, which most people think of as a university.
Right.
But not really. I was thinking of going to the state pen. I knew that was my future, and I was happy about it. I was happy about it.
you were okay with
Oh,
that.
yeah. Oh, yeah. That was like grad school. You know, that was like somebody saying, I'm getting my master's. That's what it was for somebody from the street who got nothing to live for.
My goodness.
What do I care
Wow,
about
wow,
like that?
wow.
So me and my buddy,
Wow.
that's where our mindset was. So as teenagers, like I says, you know, we go to school, wouldn't learn a thing, like I says. I tried 11th grade, didn't work either time. And I just started hanging out at the beach. I called myself a surfer, but I was there for the party, you know. I was just hanging out there, and then they had pawn shops they opened back in the 60s. And in those days, you didn't need to show ID or anything like that. So we just stealing stuff every day, you know, stealing lawnmowers, stealing it, take it to the pawn shop, boom, get enough money. And it was just one party life. But what I thought was the coolest thing that happened is love was coming around. Love. You know, it was happening in a place called Haight-Ashbury, San Francisco. The hippie movement, the love generation.
Yeah.
And so
Free love, free love.
oh, yeah, free too. The price was right. So this young fool, I'm looking for love.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
that's why I don't blame anybody. Like it says, you're going here, going there, you know, whatever you're doing, I get it. You know,
Yes.
we're going to find it somewhere, and we're going to taste a few different things. So me and my friend Freddie, we moved right up to Haight-Ashbury.
Did you?
500,000 hippies were there. Everybody's smoking weed, dropping LSD, and everybody was free love. I mean, girls, no bras, no underwear, everybody at the party. I mean, hey, doesn't sound bad to people. Don't get excited about it because there's the price to pay.
That's
You know?
right.
Yes.
You're going to end up in a pit, but go ahead.
So here I was. We're on the streets of San Francisco. We're all growing our hair, flowers, you know, in our hair, and we're just, hey, stay high. The Golden Gate Park's in the street. It was definitely fun, but like you said earlier, everything's fun for a season.
Yes.
I mean, football season ends, basketball season ends, baseball. They're all good for a time,
that's
and
good,
it's fun.
that's good.
Don't let anybody tell you sin ain't fun. If you don't think sin's fun, it's because you ain't found the right sin. It is definitely fun, but the payday, call it karma, call it payback, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So here I am up there in Haight-Ashbury, everything's going great and wonderful like that, but now I got to make some money. So I'm going to sell weed. Okay, I'm going to sell weed. This is in 1965. I'm going to sell weed, and so I come back down to Anaheim, where I'm from over here, and I happen to sell $10, a little $10 lid, they called them back in the day. And it wasn't ganji this, it wasn't some fancy strain cookies, and it wasn't like all these fancy stuff. It was just good old dirty bushweed seeds and stems. $10 worth. So I sell it to this guy, and little do I know, he's an undercover cop.
Oh, my.
In 1965, when you sell weed, they got an old video you can look at called Reefer Madness on YouTube. Reefer Madness. In those days, in the 60s, they thought if you smoke marijuana, you're going to be some crazy killer or this or that. And so I got arrested for $10 worth of marijuana. Who do I call for help because I'm locked up? Mama. Call Mama. I said, bail my butt out of here, you know. Now I'm 18 years old, but I'm a flower child. I'm loving people. I'm high. I'm seeing things. Hey, you know. You know,
LSD.
LSD, the Doors, the Beatles,
Right.
Strawberry
That's
Fields
right.
Forever.
That's
You know, I mean, I'm 100% a drug addict. You know, hallucinogenics and all that stuff. But now I get locked up in the county jail, and so I asked my mom to bail me out. You know, and I said, you got to put up your house, so Mom, because this costs some money. You know. She does it, puts it up, and then like best enabler I ever met.
Oh, my
goodness. Hey, watch out, mothers, watch out, dads.
Thank you. Yes.
Because what happens is we end up loving our children to death.
Yes.
You know, we smother them with the love, and it might be sympathy, but it's not empathy. It's not really helping. And all it does is feed that dependent soul that actually needs to be told the truth, you know, and in love.
Tough love.
So here I am, locked up in
did
there.
Did your mom feel manipulated? Did she feel like she had to
Oh
do
yeah,
it?
I was the ultimate guilt shamer every day in her life. You know, it's your fault that I'm jacked up. And then she had, no offense to you folks out there, JWs, but all of her family became JWs, and so they all told her, your son's the devil, you know? And so she had no support either, you know, and that's why a lot of times we got to be easy on each other because sometimes their own family's the worst support at all. So here I am, I'm locked up, you got to bail me out. So she bails me, I guess, and pays for a lawyer. My mom is paying again. I'm just one of the 6 kids, you know, but I'm the black sheep of the family, and she's paying for doing all that kind of stuff. my plea bargain ended up being 1 year in the county jail and 3 years formal probation. So here they send me away for a year in the county jail. So what am I going to learn in there? I go from being a flower child to a wannabe thug. I started to learn how to fight in there. Boom. I learned about other drugs in there. And I came out a dope fiend.
Educated.
Yeah, I got my Penn State education right there, you know.
Right.
And so I'm in there learning how to fight and how to do different drugs and about shooting up drugs and all this stuff. So, you know, once again, I come out here. So, but again, that I think I'm going to try love again. You know, I met this beautiful girl, you know, all this stuff like that. And so we have a kid, you know, and in those days, when you have a kid, you know, you feel responsible. You're going to marry the girl, you know, give the kid a name. It was just kind of one of those things. Even the dirty dogs knew you got to do that.
Yeah.
So I tried the marriage thing, you know. Her family, it's a nice Jewish girl. Her family took us to Vegas. We got married over there. And when, you know, when I'm saying my I do's, I'm going, yeah, I'm not really down for this, you know. You just, I don't know how I thought it was fooling, but then we had a kid, beautiful kid. Oh, man. But for me, you know, loving a kid, what do I know about, you know, put cool shoes on him and dress him up, all this stuff.
Yeah.
So, and I told everybody I loved him, but man, no way I'm staying home. This married, you got to be, are you kidding me?
How old were you at this time?
Oh my God, about 20 years old.
About 20.
Yeah.
And it's really tough. If you never received love, you don't know how to give it.
Oh yeah, no. And I got pictures. I got a picture of the house that reminds me, like I said, my kid was about 9 months old, and I'm there, and I got a can of Coors beer, and I'm giving him something to drink. At the time, I'm not thinking I hate my kid or something like that. No, I don't know how. I'm not blaming my dad, but he didn't teach me anything about it. School, I was too smart for school, so I couldn't learn anything there. And so I end up, like I says, in a marriage that I'm out of here. I'm a cheater on her. I'm unfaithful, this, like that. And at 3 years old, I got on my motorcycle because I was back in the motorcycle riding at the time. And I said, hey, son, I can remember telling him like it was yesterday, hey, son, I love you, but I got to get in the wind. I got partying to do.
Yeah.
Hey, this is cool for you straight people, but this ain't my flavor. And all this time, like I said, there's still no God thing floating around. You know, there's still no God thing. So I take off from her, and I just get crazier. Just get a little crazier. And I started becoming a cocaine smuggler and doing all that stuff. And I started a little biker crew, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm getting things so because you can make big money doing that, smuggling cocaine and doing that stuff. So now I got a cool pad. Everything's going great, man. I got toys, cars, bikes. Everything's going great. And I'm not a real addict anymore. I just do cocaine. You know, I'm a good guy. But my brother, one of my blood brothers, he worked as a psych tech over here at UCI hospital over here. And so he worked with all these doctors, and he told me, yeah, I sent drugs to all the doctors over there. I'm like, oh, man.
Really?
The doctor, yeah.
Wow.
So he met this psychiatrist, Dr. Marilyn. She's still around in this town over here. Dr. Marilyn, I won't give her last name, but this beautiful lady, like I said, heard that I had good cocaine. So she owned a house at Laguna Beach overlooking the ocean, a new Range Rover. She was doing good, man. I mean, a young single lady, about 30 years old, doctor, stuff like that, but she wanted to come with the chief over here and do some cocaine together.
Wow.
So I'm, hey, come on over. Yeah. And I'm thinking I'm a good kind of addict. You know, I'm a good addict, you know? And then one night she says, hey, you ever tried heroin? And I grew up in a little barrio called Colonia Catella in Anaheim, in the neighborhood and all that, where I watched, everybody know heroin addicts are losers.
Right.
They'll steal from their own mom. They'll steal from grandma. They'll rob the grandkids' piggy banks. They don't care about nobody. I says, no, I would never try that. But you know how the devil can come as an angel of light?
Oh, yes, he
Let me
was
tell you,
angelic.
I ain't saying Chief's easy, but sometimes a good-looking face. Yeah, no greater men than I went down for the count, so I ain't the only one to take the blame. You can read about it in the Bible, you know.
Oh, yes, Delilah.
So here I am. She was my Delilah,
Yeah, right.
and she ready to cut my hair, and I didn't even know I was in the barbershop. When the way she said, have you ever tried heroin? It kind of sounded just appetizing. Like, no, that's no, okay, one time.
Maybe I will.
It's just one.
Oh, maybe I will.
Just one time or for the last time, one or the other. Oh, it's just crazy how that works. In your life, maybe you're going to say just one more time or just last time. I had one of the ladies speaking in my house at the Magic House the other night. a little girl. She was a 19-year-old stripper when I met her and started hanging out with our crew. And I was a Christian then and stuff like that. But at her job, they offered her, she was ready to quit, change her life, be a gymnastic teacher, and do all this great stuff, change her life.
Wow.
But the boss says, you're an exotic dancer here. I'm throwing one last party. Can you just do this one last party?
Just one.
And that night on her way home, got in a car wreck, and she's paralyzed from the waist down.
My
But
goodness.
she was at my house Saturday night
Wow.
sharing her story.
Wow.
So here I am. Where was that in my story? You guys remember where I was at in my story?
Yeah, just one.
You can try one time.
Try the
There you go.
heroin.
So here I
With that
go.
cutie pie.
With the cutie pie.
I go get my heroin. We're talking real. We're talking real. This is real life, you know?
Yeah.
So I get the heroin, and the next night she comes over, you know, and she's got her little coat, shop coat from work, looking on a doctor with a stethoscope and all that stuff around her, you know.
Wow.
Then she pulls out these clean needles. It wasn't some dirty, it wasn't very hygienic.
Easy.
Yeah, you know, normally in the streets it's all, you know, like, but here it's like I'm going, you know, for
High class.
yeah, you know.
High class.
Not even gonna get infected, huh?
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I'm thinking, you know.
Strictly pharmaceutical. Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, when people talk about, well, this is prescribed from the doctor. Yeah, that's the best stuff. That's a real cut. So here it is. She comes over. I can remember handing her the little balloon, how they put the heroin in, and her mixing it up, heating it up over there. I turned my head like that because I'd never shot a needle, you know, there. I was a snorter, smoker, do everything like that, but I wasn't about to do that. And let me tell you, it's just like what happened with Annie. It seemed like yesterday, folks. You're gonna remember stuff. You're gonna remember stuff. Make sure you got good memories. You know, like Keith Urban has a song called "Making Memories," making good memories.
Good
So here I was. She goes, okay. She loads it up in her little, you know, after she peels the stuff off, where it's real hygienic. I put my arm out there, and in my mind, there was, you know, God's in there speaking all the time. And I, you know, and basically this is how he talks to me. Fool, what are you thinking?
Wow.
This is not smart. This is not going to lead anywhere good. And you know, when we got that attitude of, I know, I got it. You know, you can't tell me nothing. And that's where I was at right there, like I says, you know, in my 20s. And I can remember, boom, as soon as she squeezed that, you know, trigger and put it in my arm, I mean, I felt, I'm telling you, the best feeling I'd ever felt at that time in my life. All my problems were gone.
That's what it is.
No worries.
Jeez.
I mean, who wouldn't want that? So there I was. And then both of us did it. She did it. And then both of us, for the next 30 days, every day, shot heroin.
Wow.
They suspended her at work. She had to go on with her life and deal with me. I just started selling one toy after another that I had in the house, till I ended up losing my house. I ended up in a garage with a half a dozen other junkies sharing the same needle, but these weren't clean needles. No, these were dirty needles, and we all got hepatitis B, is what you call it. Our eyeballs all start turning yellow, skin started turning yellow. I went down to 123 pounds. I'm a 6-foot guy, 123 pounds in bones, and during that time, I began, you know, stealing big color TVs. They were popular early then. And then, who am I going to sell to? Well, I'll sell one to my dad. You know. And then an hour later, come back and steal it from him. Oh, I mean, stuff that shameful.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
My mom, she had to put deadbolt locks all around the house. But in those days, there were chains with, you know, padlocks on them. Not from burglars.
From you.
From me.
Yeah.
You know, I go to her bathroom in the house, like I said, she goes, what are all those blood splatter marks on the walls? That's when you're shooting it up, and it shoots up splatters, and she's seen this happen to her kid. I mean, that time, I'm not caring about, that's why a lot of times I deal with addicts every day. Oh, I love my kids, I go, no, you know who you love? You.
Yeah.
You know? And I wasn't ready, though. You'd think after that, how I'd hurt I stole I got one sister, got her checkbook, took that. All my brothers, I got 5 brothers, stole from every equal opportunity thief.
Sheesh. You know what, Doctor? I want you to, I can't miss this. I want you to speak to the viewers right now. Some of those are drug addicts, and they think they're okay. They think that they really do love their kids, but they haven't seen their kids. They haven't really acknowledged their kids for years. Can you tell
Or
them
the
that?
only one they're hurting is themselves. They think that's what I always said to
Oh,
myself.
yeah.
The only one I'm hurting is myself. I'm not hurting anybody else.
Oh,
But
no, yeah.
that's a lie for
That
the
is
kid.
that is the biggest lie, and that's
Yes.
when we are under the influence of these substances, whether it's alcohol or drugs, whatever it might be. The only one that we really care about is ourselves. We can talk a good talk,
There you go.
but when we do a serious inventory of ourselves, we see, like I said, we don't care about anybody else. We'll hurt anybody, push everybody else out of the way, just for our little instant gratification to make me happy, to make my life me, and all it ends up is in self-destruction of ourselves. We just have a distorted view of our family and friends, and those that we say we love, our actions don't show that. Find somebody that loves you and let them tell you about your blind spots,
There
little
you
areas,
go.
because we can't see
There you
it
go.
ourselves.
Yes.
We get deceived. These drugs and alcohol deceived us. We start thinking it's not us anymore. It's not the real us. And there's a beautiful you inside of all that
Yeah.
terribleness.
And really, like he said earlier, Danny, you said the same thing, is that we dull ourselves because of our early pain,
Yeah.
because mom mistreated us or dad mistreated us, or that's where your pain comes from.
We all got a country song.
We
I lost
all
my,
do.
I lost my pickup truck. I lost my dog. I lost my girl. And if it's a good country song, you got it back at the end. But
Yeah, it's that way. Can you speak to those people that are addicted right now, people that are hurting? They don't realize that they've got an origin to their pain, and usually you could trace it back
oh yeah,
to childhood.
exactly. We all get back there. All of us got some child. In life, when you're a young kid, kids are skipping. We teach our kids to talk and how to walk, and then we try to teach them how to sit down and shut up. But naturally, kids are full of life. They're full of joy. They're curious. They go to the store, and they want super this and super that. They got big dreams. They don't think, I want to get that doll that was divorced 10 times, or bankrupt Eddie over here, stuff like that. We've got dreams. My grandkids, when I talk to them now, they're all going to be NBA players. Or everybody's got all this stuff. But then drama hits in our life. Something happens, and all of a sudden that joy, that shout, turns into a whisper. We become mum. Our head goes down. We're depressed. And we got to find our way out. And that's what happens in our life when we try to kill the pain with drugs or alcohol.
Yes.
It just dulls our senses. We can't feel anything anymore. Our emotions are gone and everything like that. And we just become dead to this world. If we don't do something with life, life will do something with us. But it starts off and we have to look back. That's why I can look back. I was mad at my mom. I was mad at God. I was blaming everybody. And I had to come to that place where I realized the problem was me.
Jesus.
I had to change me.
How did you meet the Lord?
Oh my
How
God!
did that happen? We got
so
13 minutes.
Good. So here I was, like I says, as a hippie, a flower child locked up, came out here. Now, Dr. Marilyn and me, turning a heroin addict. Now I'm a hope to die doping.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. And I was going to I found out I was a man of faith, though, back in the early days. I was a man of faith even back then, because I would shoot heroin every day. And at first it's all fun. After a while, you got to do it just to be able to maintain. And so, I'd get my heroin, and boy, I'd shoot it up. And then it was time to go to bed, and at 10, midnight, or whatever like that, I'd go to bed. Some people will save some drugs for the morning when they wake up. But see, I was a man of faith.
I knew you'd get it.
I knew I used up every bit of heroin I have. And then the cottons that you cook the heroin in, you beat those things, squeeze it out, even get a little bit more, do it all. And I knew whenever I got up the next day, that I was going to be able to get some. I was a man of faith.
Yes.
I knew I was going to knock on the door to get some, or I'll knock down the door. When my drug dealer says, you don't got no money, I can't sell you anymore. I'm just robbing you then. What are you going to call the cops on me?
Wow.
You know, nothing matters. That drug,
Yeah.
and it turns the same way right now. I deal with tons of women, like it says, the golden age women, you know, or during the pandemic, you know, their kids left for college or they're gone, stuff like that, and they're home, working from home. A little glass of wine, another glass of wine. Next thing you know, boy, they're checking into our rehab because they're alcoholics. You know, not sweet little Susie Q over there. No, I got a dear friend of mine. She lives close to here, like lives in a $7 million home. Right now, she's probably falling over herself because she won't let anybody come in and help her. The alcohol just killing that pain. So here I am, you know, just doing it, messing up, stealing, everything like that. But I decided to get clean. So I go to a rehab. I got 90 days clean in the rehab. I get out of that rehab. It's 1976. I get out of that rehab, and I go with a buddy who lets me stay at his house. Guy that's stupid, let me stay there, you know. And he goes, let's go get some Italian food. I go to this Italian restaurant just opened up in Anaheim. This is, you know, was going to be my future wife. I didn't know it, but here she is, you know. So I see her in the Italian restaurant, checked out, see if she was on the menu. I'm 90 days clean. Back in the day, I was tall, dark, and handsome. Now I'm just a little tall and dark. But, you know, here I was, checking out, see if she was on the menu, and she'd go, oh, you know. But she was one of those, oh, the poor puppy dogs. On the streets, we call it Captain Save-A-Ho, and I was the hoe, you know. So she's going to help this guy who let the world just, you know, abuse the heck out of him. And she's going to help me out. And so, I mean, you know, come on. You don't meet a normie. He's easy like a Sunday morning, you know. So next thing you know, she's trusting me and buying all this stuff, you know, and like that. I get her house, but I got 90 days clean, so I'm looking kind of good. She's from Chicago, but she's Sicilian, so she comes out. She didn't even know what a Mexican was back in the 70s. And, you know, so I didn't have any clothes, so a brother of mine gave me a Hawaiian shirt. So I had long hair at the time. She thought I was some Hawaiian guy, surfer or something like that. So we're doing good. Everything's going on good like that. But then 90 days clean, and my brother said, hey, you need to make a little money. So monkey see, monkey do. My next youngest brother, big cocaine dealer. So what he does, he says, hey, just take this delivery from Ojai to Garden Grove, about an hour and a half delivery. Just take that, deliver it, but don't burn these people because they're a big-time cartel. Now, don't worry about it. Trust me. Trust me. I mean, come on. Why do you trust a drug addict? You know, it's like trusting a lawyer, but that's another story. So here I am, like I says, they put this kilo, at that time about $200,000 worth of cocaine, Peruvian flake cocaine, in the trunk of my car. I'm driving down from Ojai to Garden Grove to drop it off. As I'm driving down the mountain, as I'm coming down, I hear something calling my name. And what it was the cocaine calling my name going, pinch me, pinch me, which in our terminology means take an ounce, you know, and then drop it off. In other words,
they'll never miss it.
they'll never miss it, you know. So
you're getting it.
Yeah, you got it. And so here I'm getting closer to Garden Grove to drop this off. Okay, I'm going to get paid $500, which back in those days worth about $5,000. So as I get in close to drop it off, I get an idea to start a ministry. And the ministry in my head at that time was something like this: catch me if you can ministry, because I'm burning you for the whole thing.
Wow.
Man, I burned them for that. Ended up to my pad, started selling, using it right there. Going on for a 2-week party. Now that party turned into a big bus. The cops were there. I'm arrested.
My.
And I'm locked up in the Orange County Jail again. And guess who I call? Mama. Guess who says no for the first time in my life? Mama's learned to say no. First time, man. I'm 30 years old, and my mom, I did every guilt trip on her dog. Number one, son, you can leave me here. This is a dangerous place. You can't do that. Man, it's your fault that I, blaming everything, like I says. And that's why I say as a little kid, something happens in our life, and that shout goes, and the depression comes, but we got to deal with it. We can get back over there. Deal with it. So here I am now. I'm locked up over there, and I get sentenced to 1 to 10 years in state prison. So I finally made it to Penn State.
Wow, there it is.
But I get over there. I'm at Chino State Prison after a few months locked up over there. And one of the guards says, anybody who wants religion, chapel's open. Walk on down the hall. I made that walk on down the hall. And a beautiful man named Glenn Morrison, who I've done a documentary with, Glenn led me to the Lord, you know, in April of 1977, led me to the Lord right there. And that was the beginning of a whole new life in Christ.
Wow.
And now these last 40 plus years, it's just been
So,
serving the
so
Lord.
when they said, if you want religion, you went knowing you wanted religion, or you just wanted to go
Get out of
get out of
Well,
your...
put it this way. When people go fishing, they usually have bait. Here's what I'd heard about the chapel services.
Okay.
Girls come
Oh.
and sing. Remember, I'm Captain Saberho, you know. And so I heard that there might be some girls singing. No, they didn't show up. The girls didn't show up. And a nice, portly, old white guy, you know, was there. But I was ripe for the picking. When he said, you know, that Jesus would forgive you all our sins. First off, I said, I always look for a good deal. And I go, I mean, you don't know the stuff I've done, though. And he goes, he'll forgive you of any sin. But then, like I said, after he did all that, I was sold, but I wanted to become an undercover Christian, you know?
Sure.
Yeah, Secret Service.
Yeah.
I didn't want anybody
Gotta stay cool.
to stay cool, you know? Because I'd never met what I call a cool Christian. And then the guy he must have heard me, because he goes, anybody in this room, there's about 50 of us in the chapel room that day. He goes, any of you that want to give your life to Jesus today, stand up right now. I go, hey, this fool don't know what he's doing. I'm living with all these guys. I'm doing time with these guys. I mean, hey, I mean, I'm down for the cause here, but we got to keep this on the low.
Image to uphold.
Don't you know who I am? And but something inside, of course, I know the Holy Spirit. You know, I stood up. Man, I stood up, and you know, I prayed a prayer like this. I said, the preacher told me, pray a prayer like this. You know, you tried drugs, you tried women, try this. God, I'm ready to try you. And a lot of people over the years go, you don't try God. It's not like a pair of shoes or this or that. And they told me that. But I found out that God doesn't read lips, he reads hearts.
Amen.
He knew what I meant.
Yes.
And that day, I meant business. And as I'm leaving, you know, I'm walking down the main line, a couple guys come up to me, and they asked me right there, were you just jiving the preacher, or did you really mean it? In a very carnal way, because I'm brand new. I was a baby, 5-minute born-again baby. I go, you better believe it, and I mean it for the rest of my life. You know, got in his face like, you know, I'll smack him, you know, like,
Right.
Because I didn't want, you know, I'm a carnal Christian. And the first thing I did, you know, is started a little cruise, leading another couple of people to the Lord. And we had a group we called God's Gang back in 1977. Wow. I was born to be a leader of men.
Yes.
And I wasn't going to wait till I got out, because I didn't know how long it was going to be there. I'm going to use this time. Somebody gave me a Bible. And then I found a mentor, a sponsor. And just, it was the beginning. And I started, like I said, I started believing when I read that Apostle Paul was in prison and praised the Lord at midnight. So midnight, I started making all kinds of praise to the Lord. People go, what are you doing? I'm doing what God says. And then in the morning time, I tell all the guys, oh, I can't wait to see what's for breakfast. And they're going, that dirty slot, that chow, you call him breakfast? I go, yeah, I can't wait there. And then when I'm getting ready to go back to my pad, I go, man, I can't wait to get back to my bedroom. They go, that's a cell. You know, I said, no, we're seated in heavy places. I just took the Bible literally. And nobody told me that that's figure, you know, I just took it like God said. And my wife will tell you, like, because after I was locked up for a couple of years, they released me. But she goes, you don't care if you ever get out. And I go, listen, I learned from a guy named Arthur Blessed. I got a captive audience. And the message I preach in prison is how to be happy in prison. You know, God just... And then there was a place in the Bible where Paul said, learning to be content no matter what state you're in. So I applied that, learning to be content no matter what state prison you're in. You know, I just brought it all, brought the cookies down where the kids could reach them. And turned that into a beautiful stay. And the rest is the...
My goodness. Well, you became an immediate doer of the word, not just a hearer only.
So you see the Apostle Paul gets knocked off that donkey. and then down for 3 days. But once he got up, it says he straightway started preaching the word.
Yeah.
So
My goodness.
I mean, like we were talking earlier, I mean, in the war, in the army, you get shot a lot.
Yeah.
You get wounded,
Yeah.
you know, played hurt, and sometimes you want to quit, sometimes you want to throw it in. All those things have happened over all these 4 decades. But, you know, God ain't going to let us go.
We got
Go
a
ahead.
couple minutes right now. So what I'd like you to do is pray for the people here that they find their destiny in the Father, because that's what first they got to find their identity in God. Then then the Lord will show them their destiny, and that would be neat if you could just pray for them, because we got a couple of minutes. Yeah.
Okay, let me tell you, this has been beautiful sharing like this. We talked about our childhood, we're talking about family, we're talking about real life. And like I said, I'm a black sheep. I had the opportunity, my life changed. I got to influence my wife, lead her to the Lord, my mother, my dad, the one I talked about, my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, and all my brothers and sisters. I got married in prison, and my sister came to the wedding there, and she got saved right there. God can turn it doesn't matter. He can turn your mess into a message. He will change everything about your life from the inside out. And your job and my job is just to humble ourselves and say, help.
Thank you.
Help. And call on the name of the Father. He says, whosoever shall call upon his name shall, not might be, will be saved. And then he starts this new job, changing things up. We can't quit this, do that. We don't have the strength, but through Christ, we can do all things. Then he starts working things out. And now I'm, like I said, I got 6 kids now. I got 23 grandkids. Wife for 45 years. I was the last one to ever be able to make it. Everybody counted me out as a loser. But God never gives up on us. He says there's treasure in earth and vessels. So I pray in the name of Jesus that he would touch you right where you're at, your mom, your dad, your grandpa, your whole family, whoever it might be, that he'd just draw you in and speak life into you, a new life, a better life, the best life, and give you a beautiful, happy ending in Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name. Take this next 11 seconds and tell them where they can reach you again.
All right, downtown beautiful Anaheim, 301 South Archer Street in Anaheim, 714-400-4573. I dare you to call me. Don't be afraid.
Bye-bye.